Rolls-Royce, one of Britain's greatest and longest established engineering companies, has had another profits warning today. What's gone wrong?
Rolls-Royce will slash at least 9,000 jobs globally as part of a reorganisation plan to mitigate the financial impact.
Rolls-Royce, first of all, one of Britain's most famous corporate names, has reported its worst ever loss, one of the biggest in UK corporate history. The jet engine maker posted a pre-tax loss of £4.6 billion for 2016.
You've transformed, really, the business, Rolls-Royce, since you took over. At the time, you were talking about joining a burning platform. Where is Rolls-Royce now?
On a bitter February morning in 1971, the boardroom of a historic engineering company in Derby, England was completely silent. Outside, a strong wind pounded frost-covered windows, carrying the sharp taste of cold metal and the low murmur of a winter storm. Inside, the familiar smell of polished wood and well-worn leather mixed with steady tick of an old clock, a sound that seemed to count down each uncertain moment. In that heavy, charged room, as every eye stayed fixed on the door, one firm, clear voice broke through. "We have no choice but to act now." Those simple words hit like a jolt, breaking the silence. At that moment, Rolls-Royce, a name once known for perfect engineering, stood at the brink of collapse. The cold, dim boardroom was not just a meeting room, it was a stage where a turning point would be made, setting off a journey as personal as it was huge. Every heartbeat and quiet doubt hinted at a crisis that would soon call for courage and change. Over a century ago, in 1906, two men set out with one clear goal: to build machines that were not only useful but truly perfect. Charles Rolls, a well-known dreamer with bold ideas, teamed up with Henry Royce, a self-made perfectionist who would not let anything leave his workshop unless it was flawless. Their work produced automobiles that were more than just vehicles. They were moving works of art, shining with polished metal and careful workmanship. People from kings to everyday folks admired these creations, and soon Rolls-Royce became known as a gold standard in engineering. When World War II began, Rolls-Royce shifted the focus from luxury cars to a critical mission: powering a nation. The famous Merlin engine roared beneath the wings of Spitfires and Hurricanes, its powerful sound giving hope in Britain's darkest hours. In those moments, every tick of the clock reminded the team that every success came with a cost, and that every win taught a hard lesson. By the 1960s, riding on a century of successes, Rolls-Royce felt almost unstoppable. Relying on its proud history, the company took a huge risk with the RB211 jet engine. This engine was designed to be a breakthrough, with new carbon fiber fan blades meant to make it lighter, quieter, and more fuel efficient than ever before. In busy labs, engineers in neat white coats gathered around machines, full of hope as it pictured a new era in aviation. Then, without warning, the fragile fan blades shattered like glass under pressure. In that moment, a young engineer softly said, "They just broke," in disbelief, while a senior manager brushed it off as a minor setback. But as deadlines passed and costs soared, the problem grew too big to ignore. The mounting loss of trust and rising expenses taught a harsh lesson: even legends can fall when ambition goes too far. By 1971, with its reputation in ruins, Rolls-Royce collapsed under the weight of its gamble. To save this national treasure, the British government stepped in and took over the aerospace division. The price was steep. The company had to give up its iconic car division, the heart of the Rolls-Royce name, which eventually went to BMW. The once united brand was split, its scars a lasting reminder of the risk of pushing too far and too fast. Even at its lowest, a spark of brilliance remained. Determined not to repeat past mistakes, Rolls-Royce began the long, careful process of rebuilding. With quiet determination, the company went back to what it did best, making airplanes engines. The new Trent engine series emerged like the first light after a long dark night, powering wide-body aircraft around the world with a mix of raw power and careful efficiency. Along with this comeback came a new idea, the powered by the hour model. Instead of buying engines outright, airlines now paid for each hour of operation, turning uncertain cost into steady income. In quiet hallways, a veteran manager recalled, "Every tick of the clock reminded us of our failures, but also of the hope that tomorrow could be different." His words carried the lessons learned away from every crisis, making it clear that survival depends on the ability to change. Still, as Rolls-Royce fought its way back, the memories of past crises stayed fresh. In 2011, driven by the law of making higher profits, the company sold its stake in the IAE V2500 engine program, stepping away from the growing single-aisle market. As low-cost carriers thrived and giants like Airbus and Boeing ramped up narrow-body production, the missed opportunity loomed large. Soon after, the Trent 1000 project for the Boeing 787 faced serious problems when its turbine blades were wore out too quickly, forcing airlines to ground fleets and costing billions in repairs. Each setback was a harsh reminder that every crisis teaches us how to build a stronger future. When hope seemed to fade, a fresh, determined voice emerged. In January 2023, the board made a bold move. They named Tufan Ergin-Bilgic, a former PP executive with no traditional aerospace background, as a new CEO. Though many long-term employees were unsure, Tufan's record of turning around big companies and his burning platform approach promised that time for old ways was over.
Because this is a transformation, right? You change everything about it. And you do all those three at high pace, intensity, and with rigor. So that actually not only sustains, it excels it.
Standing in the familiar halls of Derby's headquarters, Tufan's eyes shone with determination as he declared, "This is a burning platform. We're losing money with every poor decision. There's no time for a honeymoon." His clear, direct words cut through old habits, reminding everyone of the high cost of past crises. In that moment, the urgency for change was real and powerful. In the days that followed, Tufan set a bold course. He removed layers of outdated management, cut 2,500 underperforming jobs, and renegotiated contracts with sharp focus on profit. Although some whispered that he was gutting a heritage, his relentless drive soon silenced the critics. By mid-2023, Rolls-Royce moved from deep debt to a healthy cash reserve, and by early 2024, its stock jumped from 91 to 732 pence, a 700% surge that showed the world the strength of the turnaround. Analysts noted that Tufan's practical approach and focus on culture were key to unlocking the company's new potential. With the company stabilized and a renewed sense of purpose, Rolls-Royce turned its gaze to the future. It placed its hopes on two big projects that could redefine its destiny and secure its legacy. The first was the UltraFan engine. Imagine a jet engine that is 25% more fuel efficient, a breakthrough that offers not just better technology, but also a chance to re-enter the lucrative single-aisle market the company once left behind. UltraFan is more than just a machine. It's a symbol of renewed ambition and innovation. With cleaner performance and support from advanced digital tools and data analytics to optimize maintenance, UltraFans offer a clear vision of a future where environmental care meets modern design. However, if major players like Airbus or Boeing do not choose UltraFan for the next narrow-body jets, the risk is high. Another setback echoing past failures. Alongside UltraFan, Rolls-Royce is stepping into the world of clean energy with its investment in small modular reactors. Using its long history of precise engineering, from building submarine reactors to designing advanced turbines, the company is developing compact, factory-built nuclear reactors that promise safe, scalable, and sustainable power. In today's world, where reducing carbon emissions and ensuring energy security are top priorities, success in this field could transform Rolls-Royce from an engine maker into a leader in technology. Yet strict regulations, high research costs, and public doubts make the road ahead challenging. Every technical report reviewed in the buzzing labs of Derby is a reminder that even bold ideas must come with careful planning. As a new day broke over Derby, Rolls-Royce stood at crossroads, caught between the weight of its storied past and the promise of an uncertain future. The roaring Merlin engines and groundbreaking Trent series were proud symbols of a legacy built on excellence, while the scar of past mistakes, the shattered RB211 blades, and the costly errors of the Trent 1000 serve as constant reminders of what happens when ambition outpaces caution. In quiet corridors, voices from different eras mingled. An older manager, his eyes full of both pride and sorrow, said softly, "Every bolt and every blade tells a story of both success and loss. We must learn from these lessons to build a better tomorrow." Nearby, a young engineer, hopeful yet careful, added, "Our willingness to change and grow is what will shape our future." These personal reflections, drawn from the hard lessons of past crises, bridge the gap between history and possibility. Under Tufan's steady leadership, Rolls-Royce embraced a philosophy of constant reinvention, a mix of the careful work of its founders with a modern, profit-driven approach that meets today's market needs. As Ultrafan and SMR move closer to becoming real, the halls of Derby buzz with both excitement and doubt. Industry experts agree that such bold, measured risks are essential in a changing world. The resilient spirit of Rolls-Royce endures, built on a legacy of overcoming setbacks and a determination to keep learning and growing. The story of Rolls-Royce is one of never-ending reinvention, a journey marked by high triumphs, crushing setbacks, and an unyielding will to rise again. It shows us that even the most admired institutions can stumble, yet every failure plants a seed for renewal. In the quiet moments before a new dawn, as engines hum softly in the background and memories of past struggles echo through the corridors of Derby, we're reminded that greatness is not a final destination. It is a journey, a constant challenge to innovate, to overcome, and to turn adversity into opportunity. As the world moves towards an uncertain future, Rolls-Royce stands ready to write its next chapter, a chapter defined by bold ideas, steady courage, and the belief that true excellence can always be reborn. Every engine that roars to a life is a promise. No matter how fierce the storm, the spirit of Rolls-Royce will endure and lead the way into tomorrow.